Hello and welcome to IMAGE The Motherload, the podcast for mums who work inside and outside the home. I'm your host, Dominique McMullan. I'm Image Media's editorial director and mum of two lively boys. Each week I am joined by a special guest where we talk about the realities of modern motherhood and hopefully leave you feeling a little bit less alone and maybe even a little bit more seen. Think of us as your village because we're here to lighten the load. Today, I am joined by a beautiful, gorgeous woman, Ali Deasy. Ali is a mum of four, one firecracker daughter, Georgia, who is 10, and three 5-year-old triplet boys. She is a brilliant mum who is really honest about her journey, and she has kept her sense of humour throughout it all too. I'm so looking forward to talking to her here today. I want to take a moment to thank the incredible brands that make IMAGE The Motherload possible. IMAGE The Motherload is powered by Peugeot and sponsored by It's For Women, Evoca, Liffey Valley and Revive Active. So Ali Deasy, welcome to The Motherload.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. How are you? It's nice to have a moment of peace.
I know, it's lovely. I was enjoying the peace and quiet down at the reception.
yeah. So paint for me a picture of what life is like at home for you right now. Is it fun?
Fun is the word.
Mm-hmm.
It's busy.
Yeah.
Like between obviously school and activities and work and...
What does the day-to-day look like? Are the boys in school or are they in junior
they
infants?
started in September.
Oh, wow. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. I like all the mums were crying at the school gates and I was only short of having a margarita in my hand. I was like, bye!
See ya!
Oh, I just was... It's terrible, but like you kind of have these milestones in your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just have to get, potty train. I have to get through this. I have to get through this. And then it was like, when we get to school, that's the goal, that's the goal, that's the goal.
Yeah.
So,
and did you have to kind of pre-warn school? Is it the same place where your daughter is going?
Oh, yeah. We had a few meetings. Yeah. They were the first triplets. So
are they in the same class?
So 2 are in one class and 1 is in another. There is reason. There's 4 classes, but 2 go in one side of the school, 2 go in the other. 2 are on yards with 2 senior infants, 2 are on yard with 2 other senior infants. So if I split them in 3, 1 would always be, they wouldn't be on yard together, and 2 would, it was very complicated. But eventually we decided on 2 and 1. Ted kind of hates the other 2 sometimes, so he kind of made it easy for us, And then the school were really good. They put him in with, they made sure there was a friend of his in this class, and then a few of the boys in play school are in the other class, so it suits him perfectly. Ted goes mental on the 2 weeks off because he's like, I can't believe these are here full time.
Wow.
And then the other 2 are unbothered, so
that's perfect.
And they still get to play in yard and all together, so they have the same little friends.
And are they in the same school as Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia's 10?
10, yeah.
Yeah.
10 going on bloody 18 at this stage.
Is she?
God, I'm clinging on to childhood where I'm like, I think they get too near the teen stuff too quick. I'm like, stop.
And 10 is old these days. Hey, 10 is like...
She just shot up as well. She went from this and in a year, it's just taller than all her friends. It's just, it's mad.
Oh,
she's going to be taller than me in no time. I'm like, oh no.
How does she feel about having the boys in school with her? Is she very proud of them? Is she protective of them?
No. No, not at all. She couldn't care less. They're in the junior side of the school and she's in the senior side.
Okay, she's not seeing them.
Yeah, we all drive in, but even when we get with the car, she's like, bye, she's gone before you can even see them. She wants to catch up with her friends and all. She's kind of at that age.
So what kind of stages are the boys at now then? Are they all the same kind of stages? Are they into the same things?
Oh, well, they've no choice.
Okay.
It's like, I am not going around to
buying 3 of everything.
Yeah,
toys.
well, you do that anyway. But they're kind of into the same toys wise. They all obviously have their own.
Yeah.
One's Paw Patrol, one's Spider-Man, one's Minecraft or whatever.
You literally sound like you're in my house.
Yeah. So it's kind of everything. And then sports wise and activity wise, they all do the same thing.
They do the same.
Swimming, football, acrobatics. Acrobatics, I know. Yeah, very fancy. Sounds fancy.
Yeah. So can you take us back to life before the boys came along, to what it was like when you had just yourself and Georgia? Do you even remember?
BTL, life before the lads.
Yeah.
No, I know that sounds mad. I do, but
you don't really.
We were kind of we had Georgia, then we moved back in my mum and dad, say, for a house. And then it feels like obviously we're back in my mum for 2.5 years. which felt like that was great.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. And I was like, I loved him with my mom, especially with like, and it's like a total different experience because like she was full time when Georgia was born, basically, and then then we got the house, and then we kind of were like, oh, chilling out, and then 2 years later, you feel like you blinked, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was pregnant on 3 babies. Like I don't feel we had, like, 'cause, we were always saving for something and then saving for something. So yeah, it was just always kind of just being busy and working. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. It was
Yeah.
great. George obviously loved it, and it was great. Kind of when we got the house with her and stuff like that. It was kind of, she had 2 years on her own.
Does she remember that? No. What was she, 3?
She was 4 when the lads were born.
4 when they were born. And if you don't mind me asking, because I read about it, did you have a miscarriage before the boys came along?
Yeah. So I had a miscarriage in, I think it was, I can't remember exactly, but the October.
Yeah.
It actually feels like someone else's life, when you talk back on things, because it just seems ages ago. Yeah, no, I had a miscarriage, and then, like, yeah, it was obviously devastating and everything else in between. But like, I know because I'm on the other side of it now.
Yeah. You
Like,
can look at it differently.
yeah, I look at it completely differently. But yeah, at the time, it was just, I always say it's like you're in a whirlpool, and every time you think you're over one emotion, you get hit by another and whatever else. But as I always said, and I am such a positive little soul, I can't help it. It drives people crazy sometimes. I always had a thing that there has to be a reason for something happening. It just has to. That's no matter what it is. If it's something bad, there has to be a balance somewhere. So I was like, it's gonna make sense. It's gotta make sense. And by God, did it make sense?
And then
Like, it made sense. It smacked to the face. Like,
are you a spiritual person at all?
no,
No, that kind of sounds
no,
like
yeah,
you
I
are,
know.
but
I'm
no.
not. I think I'm an optimist, an eternal optimist.
Well, you were given the
So
right cards in life for an
yeah.
eternal
Well, I always
optimist.
say a good sense of humor and a bit of optimism will get you
Yeah.
further than you think.
So you'd had that experience and everything happens for a reason. Then you got pregnant again and you went, how did you find out that it was triplets? What were your first kind of signs?
There was no sense. So my sister
Really?
has twins.
Okay,
So
so
her
it was in
twins
the
are 10.
family.
So we know there are biological twins, Jeremy, hereditary twins.
Yeah.
I should know that. I say it enough because people ask. We know that, like, my aunties have twins, cousins have twins.
Mhm.
It's all down my mom's side of the family. But I thought that was my sister's party trick. I was like, and I remember he used to always be like, oh, she went for number 3 and she got 3 and 4. Ha ha. That saying, mocking is catching. Yeah. Well, it caught me. But no, I obviously, because I had a miscarriage in October, then I was like, I'll go for an early scan.
Yeah.
So I was actually across the road with fabulous Dr. Declan Keane.
In Hollis
And
Street.
yeah, I just rang up and asked what I should do, and he said, come in just for peace of mind. I know. He's a very good man. So I went in, and I think I was 9 weeks pregnant at the time. And
So very early days.
very early days. And he said, it's twins.
God, you could tell even twins.
Twins.
Okay, at 9 weeks.
It was
Okay.
twins, yeah. And I was like, twins? 3 babies, 2 pregnancies. I don't like being pregnant, so I was like, this suits me.
Perfect.
This is me done. No new car, full family, whatever, done.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we went in for the 12-week scan then. And I'm laughing. Chris was sitting at the desk across from me. Like, he didn't even come over. Like, it's in the same room, but he was sending an email for work. Like,
Your partner.
yeah. So he was sending an email for work, and he was like, yeah. Grand, like, and I remember him putting the scanner on me. And you're kind of looking, and I'm like, and I could see it.
You could see that it was triplets.
I could see there was more than 2 of whatever was on the screen. Like, and I was like,
Really?
and I just knew by his face. And he was just like, oh. And I was like, and I just went, there's 3, isn't there? And he was like, yeah, it's triplets. And like, I remember I always say to Chris, I'd love to know how that email ended. He was sending. I was always like, I'd love to know.
It never went.
Did you ever send it? Like, But like, again, I just couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was the funniest. I thought it was the
Really?
funniest thing anyone's ever told me. Like, I was like, it would only happen to me. That way. It was one of
Yes.
those things where I was like, oh, like, and I was like, no one's gonna believe this. Like, I made him print out sheets, like when I went to they send you in then for a more detailed scan.
Mhm.
And I was seriously, I was like, you're gonna have to print this on a piece of paper,
No
because if
one's
I
gonna
send
believe
this,
me.
no one's gonna believe me. Like, and I just remember, like, this is obviously before like big Instagram and TikToks and all these kind of things where
Yeah.
people are doing reveals and recording people.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
always like, I would have loved to have recorded people's reaction.
When you told them.
Yeah, when I told them, like, Like, I remember I rang my sister and her husband and we were on speaker in the car. And I just said to her, are you sitting down? And she went, it's triplets, is it? And
Really?
there was, I would say, a solid 10 minutes of just laughter. There was nothing else. My sister, like, we just laughed. We thought it was we were all like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, it was the funniest thing. Like, and my brother-in-law, like, he has a real contagious laugh. And I just always remember from that day him laughing.
That's brilliant.
Because it was just so funny.
That's so nice though, because you do get, my sister had twins very recently. And so twins, not even triplets. And she
sorry,
talked.
I really like when people say it's only twins. I'm sure she'd love you for that. Only twins. Like.
Sorry, Kayla. But she got some really bad reactions, like people going, "Oh God," you know. And it's like, stop it.
Oh, I've had people stop me, like in the square or in the street or whatever, and a woman once stopped me and went, "Oh my God, are they triplets?" And she was like, "Yes." She was like, "God, I think I'd have to throw myself off a bridge."
Oh my God!
But again, I just had to laugh, and I was
Thanks.
like, "Well, thank God I had them and not you." Like, you know, I was like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say here. Like, you know what I mean?
What do you have for me?
Or people be like, did you have them naturally? And I'm a wagon. I always say, yeah, just normal, right? Because I always say, if you're brave enough to ask me the question, you're going to sit there gobsmacked with the answer. I said that to a woman in the square one day, and my dad was with me. He was like, Jesus Christ, Ali. And I was like, no, people need to learn. It's not appropriate. Like,
so
like
funny.
it's just not an appropriate question.
No, it is not. You wouldn't ask anybody
the lack
else.
of shame I have is well and truly out the door. So I was like, no, do you know what? People need to learn that
they do. You were doing God's work.
There's even ways to ask these things.
Yeah,
like, you know?
yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So yeah, it's good fun learning. So
very funny. So then, did the pregnancy then go on to be kind of an okay pregnancy? Were you worried at all? Or
yeah,
just laughing the whole way through.
Well, I did. Like, as I say, a good sense of humor will get you far enough to not have a nervous breakdown anyway. But yeah, I think like it was so funny because Chris was like so worried. He's like turning into Rain Man, where he's like, "Oh, we don't have four, like, you know, we've got a new car, we should do all this, like, you know that way." And I was like, I the first thing I did was Googled a triplet pregnancy.
God.
And a photo came up, and I was like, Chris, I can't do that. I was like, I can't do that. Like, I was like, what?
Like birth?
No, like just the bump. I was like, I can't do that.
Oh God.
Like, and see, the thing is, a lot of triplet pregnancies around on time are American. Like people, and they nearly all go as long as they can, like a vast majority of them. Yeah. And like, I was like, no, I was like, I will actually birth. How do you do this? Like, you know, I was like, oh my God. So that terrified me slightly. And then it was just obviously every scan but I was in every 2 weeks. Like, like I knew all of them by name and reception and the scanners and the nurses and everyone.
So you're being closely observed because of the nature of it.
And like, I mean, anything. If I sneeze wrong, they're like, come into us. Oh yeah. They're like, come in. So
what is
that's
that?
brilliant.
You're like, everything's fine. I know it's fine. I'm here.
I say they were sick of the sight of me. I genuinely do. I was like, hi, me again. Sorry. And I had a luminous pink hair at the time. I had this luminous pink bob, and I was like, hi, it's me, the one with all the kids.
Amazing. The one with all the kids in here.
Just me.
Yeah.
So no, the pregnancy was actually, it was grand in a medical sense. Like, obviously physically it was
hard.
Like, I wouldn't recommend it.
What kind of month did it start getting really heavy?
From about, I kind of kept going up until about 27 weeks.
Okay, wow.
And then, like,
you have to just lie down.
Kids, and I am the type of person, I just don't like sitting on my hands. Yeah. So, but I had to. Like, my dad, God bless him, every day, he had like it saved on his phone. All I could eat was this one salad from Chopped and an iced mocha from McDonald's. That was it. That's all I could eat majority of the day. And he used to, like, I used to wake up. God bless, I can't imagine what that poor man saw in the summer months of me in the bed. Because I used to just wake up and there was an ice mocha and a chopped salad beside the bed, and I'm like, thanks, Dad. He used to just drop it up to me every day. I was like, he's the cutest.
That's so lovely.
And Georgia started school around that time as well. So, starting school, after they were born, but we were trying to get everything ready for that beforehand. And it was...
What did she think about what was coming down the tracks?
I don't think she ever really knew, Because even when they were born, they were in for 5 weeks. So it was like, the babies are here, but you can't bring them in.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, like, I'm still coming home and I'm thing. And then one by one, when we brought them home, she was like, oh. You're like, yeah, they're real, Georgia. But she was great. Like, I couldn't.
She sounds great. Whenever I hear you talk about her, she sounds awesome.
She's my like sign I'm doing something right in life.
Yeah.
She's that thing where you're like, I'm doing something right.
Yeah. I've got that with my oldest. Yeah. Yeah. And so how did the birth go then?
Yeah, so my waters went when I was 31 weeks pregnant at home. Now, when I say they went, like, yeah, you know, we had to ring the hospital and be like, I'm just weighing.
I could be wetting my
yeah,
pants.
like you're ringing. I got like, if I come in here now and I've just been like, you can't tell anyone, and they're like, no, you have to come in, and I was like, I swear to God, like if I come in, and even tell one person, like, I'm mortified because like I was induced on George. I didn't know that my water was leaking or anything like that. So no, my waters had gone. So then I was admitted to Hollis Street on Wednesday night. And then nothing. I was just like,
And were you waiting to go into labour? You were going to try.
They were going to try and keep me as long as they could. But on the Friday morning, like my consultant had literally come in to me and he was like, I just have to fly off for an hour or two, like anything. And I was like, oh. And I got up early that day to have me shower before my breakfast just to switch things up, you know, just to live a little. And, I was like, no, I'm grand, like not a bother. I mean, you know. Go on about your day. I'll see you in the afternoon. Like,
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I actually felt awful for him because you know when he came, like they were delivered when he came back, and he actually was like, I was like, I'm so like. I remember the first thing I said, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, so like I couldn't hold him in.
Like, we're some way responsible
because obviously people like for them it must be interesting to deliver triplets or do and out with the ordinary. And then I felt awful. I was here to Chris. I feel awful. I was like, I feel awful. I should have felt something. Like I
should have held them in.
Like I remember like just laughing at guilt, and I was like, I remember going home like, I feel really bad that like that happened that morning. He's like, you were mad. I was like, I know, but yeah, I just got into the shower. Was like, I started getting a few pains, and I was like, oh.
Did it happen quite quick then?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. But polite old me, instead of like ringing a bell or doing that, got out of the shower, dried myself, put all my stuff away. I was like, walked down to the nurse's station.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't ring that bell. I'd want to be dying. My sister's a nurse. I'm like, I'm not ringing the bell. They all killed me for it, but I strolled down. And actually the midwife on the morning was a past bridesmaid that I'd done her hair for a friend's wedding. So I was like, hi, Rebecca. It was a saint. Like, I'm getting a few pains. If you have a minute, you know, don't mind me. And it was kind of during handover time in the hospital. But they were delighted because obviously there's more staff on.
Yeah, okay.
Over. She was like, no problem, go back to the bed. And I always remember talking to her afterwards, and she was like, oh, you went in? And I was like, ringing buttons. And she was like, you didn't complain. She was like, oh my God. So yeah, no, I knew. I was like, and she came down and checked me. She's like, you're in labour. Like, yeah, I knew I was. I had an inkling. But I thought, like, labour takes ages, you know?
Yeah.
I was in labour for Georgia for ages.
Not always, though.
No, yeah. She literally she just said to me, I'm going to push this and the room's going to fill, and that's that. Like, and I remember I rang Chris at 8:05. I was like, hi, I'm in labour. You're going to have to come into the hospital. So Chris is like packing up Georgia, you know, taking your time. Labour takes ages. And 5 to 9 they were delivered. Yeah.
You're joking. An hour later.
Not even. Like that was by the time I got out of the shower at 8:05.
Wow.
Or 5 to 8, rang Chris 8:05. And yeah, they were delivered at 9.
But
that
can be quite hard on a body and on a, like, emotionally. That
the only
can be
good
quite
thing,
difficult.
I was really prepped. Like, I mean, they were in talking to me every day about this, what's going to happen, this, what's going to happen.
Okay.
Like, they were like, the room's going to fill up. You're going to be handed, you know, if it's an emergency, we'll give you all this stuff. If it's not, this is what's going to happen. So I knew.
Mm-hmm. And it was vaginally, just to be clear.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay.
I've done it that way too with
like,
Georgia.
That is unbelievable.
I was so far gone by the time I got up to the theatre. They were having an argument between, I think it's anaesthetist and the other consultant that was in, or another doctor, about me having to deliver one of them and then having a section. And I was like, I don't care, but I'm not doing it both ways.
No, don't do that.
Like,
no.
And I always laugh because I don't know. I'm always like, was it the drugs? What was it? But this fella came in and he was like a surfer out of like home and away or something. Like, I swear to God. And he was like, he was the anaesthetist. And he was like, I've got this. Like, I just remember being like, what is happening? Like, you know, you're like, there was like 40 people in the room, and I was like, there's like a glow off. And I was like, what is going on? I remember asking some of the midwives afterwards. I was like,
who's that guy?
Did that happen? They're like, yeah, that's like such and such. It's like, all right. But he was like, I've got this. And they were kind of like, you know, we have to get the spinal in now. And he was like, no problem. And just did it. And I was like,
But you do get that weird relationship with Hollis Street people where you're just like, oh, I love you.
Oh, I love them.
You're my best friend now.
Yeah.
To
no
the
choice.
midwives. And,
They're all my
probably
besties
like,
now.
oh my God.
Not this one again.
Crazy women. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
C-section, of course. I mean, I presume there was never even a discussion about it, was
Well, you
there?
can if you want.
Yeah, God, hard work though.
Just really did not want it. Like,
Yeah.
just no.
Yeah. And then they were in NICU for a few weeks.
5 weeks, yeah.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Okay. Was that tough? Was that...
Yeah, it was. Again, I was so prepped on it.
Yeah,
Like, it was
you
so
knew that was
like you're
probably
going to
going
do
to
it,
happen.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, yeah, it's just the pumping as well. Jeez.
So sorry, were you pumping for the three of them?
Well, I was pumping. I don't think I would have fed one of them with it. Like, they kind of kept saying to me, "Is that all you have?" And I was like, "Where do you think this is
Trying
coming from?"
my
Like,
best.
I was like, and like the stress of obviously you have a massive surgery. Then you're like, I mean, I was sat up the next day and it was like, right, we have to start expressing. And I was like,
How was recovery for you? Was it difficult?
yeah, like it wasn't, I think because you just had to, like, I like, you had no choice. Like, now I remember, like, again, like when the nurses came in, I was on my hands and knees trying to get my slipper from under the bed. They were actually going to kill me. Like, I was like, I'm not ringing that bell to come get my slipper, like, because I just kicked it under. But I was just trying to
I
move as
know.
quick as I could,
You
like, as
wanted to
in,
be self-sufficient.
yeah,
and-
I just,
yeah.
like, it was horrible. But yeah, no, day 3, I remember being Hollis Street and I remember texting Chris being like, you're going to have to come in. I'm not okay here. Like, always day 3. Always. Day 3 and day 8, they always say. So, but I was just like, you need to come in here. Like, and then it's kind of awkward because when you come into NICU for the first time, like, you walk in and your baby's in an incubator and you're like,
I know, what do I do here?
what am I, like, what am I
know.
supposed to do?
I
Like,
remember that exact moment.
yeah. And then you sit on a chair and you're just kind of staring and you're like,
Yeah, you're like, can I put my finger
yeah,
in?
and I
or...
didn't. I was just sitting there and I was like, okay. And then eventually, like, I remember I was there for 15 minutes and I was like,
I'm
right,
gonna
so
go.
I'll see you later. Like, it was so awkward. I was like, what do I do? Like, and like, no one ever says that. And you're like, pause. And then you're up in your room going, oh God, are they going to think I'm terrible?
I
Because,
should be
like,
there.
yeah, but you're
Yeah.
like, one, they don't care. You're not in their way, but it's probably easier for them to do your job when th're not there. But I was just like sitting in the room then being like, oh, I'll have another shower. Like, I don't know what to do. Like it's different than when you go home and you go back in then every day.
Yeah.
Because at least you're kind of like, all right, times you have to put her in and put her out and you can go for a coffee or whatever. But at the time, like, someone had to wheel me down and wheel me up. And then I was like, how long do I wait before I was going to go back down? Or like, what do you do?
What are you
So
meant to do?
awkward. Like,
I know. I remember. I
Yeah.
remember exactly. I was in NICU for a few days, and I remember the exact moment sitting there, and that was only for a few days. Of
yeah,
being
and
like,
you're kind of like, now eventually you do get, because you can come in and you can do bits and whatever.
yeah,
But like, I just remember being like,
because you don't want to. There's all machines and wires and stuff. You don't want to like get in the way or damage something.
it was only
or...
when, like, after I think about 4 weeks when they got on the high dependency on it, where they don't, like, what the wires are. They're not like anything, like, keeping them
Scary.
alive like that. Like, you're like, okay,
yeah.
that you can kind of feel confident. Like, I eventually kind of was going in and picking them up and just holding myself. But
Do you remember the first moment you held the 3 of them together?
oh yeah, no, it's terrifying. Terrifying. It was one of the nurses, I remember. I know her name and all. I won't say it just in case she doesn't want me to probably like, not horror again. She was actually the same nurse. We have a picture of them in their 3 Dublin jerseys. And she was the nurse that handed them to me because I was like, any chance I could get a picture with 3 of them? Like, do you think that's possible? Like, it doesn't have to be today or anything. She was like, of course. And just like was stacking them. And I was like, and like, I love that photo because I'm like, and inside I'm like, get these babies off of me now. Like, I was like, why did I ask to do this? So it looks like this lovely house, but I was like, oh my God.
But you're terrified, probably. Yeah.
And then sure, when you go home, you're one and one's over and you're like, but at the time, like, initially you're like, oh God.
Yeah, because they're so small when
they're
just
teeny,
normal babies are small, but yeah, triplets. How much did they all weigh when they were born?
Bruce, I can't remember. He was under 1.5 kg. I think he
Wow,
was
so
3
it's
pound
really
3, 3 pound 6 or 7, and 4 pound. Ted was 4 pound on the button. Yeah, but like Letty and Bruce not bothering them. They flew through NICU. Bruce, I'm convinced they would let him out if he was the weight. Like, he flew through it. Like, he's still like that. It's not bothering him or nothing.
As a mum, the reality is you spend an awful lot of time in the car, whether with work or with the kids or juggling a combination of both. The Image mums and I recently test drove the Peugeot 3008 and 5008, and we were genuinely so impressed. They are spacious, big enough for school gear and sports bags and buggies, and they are full of really innovative tech too. The 3008 SUV is the perfect combination of style and practicality, and the 5008 has 7 seats if you need them. When you've got babies or toddlers or teens or anything in between, Peugeot really does have your back. When you have a busy life, you need a car that keeps up, and Peugeot gets it. Have they all hit different milestones at different ages? Like, have they all grown up at different times?
Yeah,
And
I genuinely think they are the best example, because I remember when they were probably about 9-10 months, and there was another little fella in our estate, and I remember he was sitting up, and I remember saying, "Oh God, like he's sitting up, and oh God, that's mad!" Like, and I remember he made some sort of comment like, "Well, sure, they weren't in the bouncer all the time; they would too." He was trying to be funny, and I remember being like,
don't do that.
you know, when you got home and you're like, "I can't sleep now," because I'm like, "Oh my God," and I was thinking, cheeky. Or like, you know, that way without being...
I know.
being,
Don't say stuff like
you
that
know,
to
it
new
ruminates, and then you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God. But like, I remember then going, oh God, they're not doing this. And I was not worried about stuff like that. But one comment
Can
on a
throw you
bad
into a
day just tips you
spiral.
over.
Yeah.
And then their first birthday, the lads sat up really on their own day. I remember because it was the first time I can get a picture of the three of them sitting up together.
And they all sat up on their first
All
birthday.
sat up on their, like, unsupported on their first birthday.
Wow.
And then, like, after that, Bruce walked to 14 months. Ted was, I couldn't even tell you. It's terrible.
Is Bruce always the... Sorry,
Always.
It's not terrible that you can't remember.
Oh, I can't. I'm
like,
he was,
3 sets. I couldn't tell you with
14
one.
and 17 once. I always remember the two ends of it. And then
Yeah.
Ted just took off in the middle of that.
Did you say Bruce is always in the
Miles
lead?
ahead.
Is he?
Miles ahead. Over
Yeah.
the cot, over the stairgate, over, like, walking, talking.
Yeah. Is that his little personality
He's
now?
mad.
Is he?
Absolutely mad. He's brilliant. He's so entertaining, but he is bananas. Like, every time I bring him swimming, I'm like, oh, if anyone sees him, he's black and blue, covered. And it's not a pick on him. He has, like, his dad's side of the family metabolism. Like, there is literally not a pick on him. And I'm like,
I love it.
every time, like, he goes swimming, I'm like, I swear to God, you two aren't, like, beating him up. And he's just, he's into everything. He's not afraid of it. And he
Bruce.
just wants, yeah. And I'm like, you go.
Yeah, he sounds great. And what
Yeah.
about the other two? What are their little personalities
They're
like?
also mad, but in, like, Ted would be a bit more, like, he likes his own space, but he's a bit more aggro than the other two.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he gets a bit more
I've
annoyed
got a
with
big
them.
aggro.
Yeah, you know,
my
where
youngest is mad aggro.
and, like, the
yeah.
other two now, they wind him up, like, so they'd be taking his toys now, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Arr," and you're like, oh God, you know, like, Jesus. But he'd be the biggest mammy boy out with them all now. He'd still
Oh,
come on out, you know,
yeah.
he'd still be kind of hanging on with me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
then,
God. Sorry, go on. Finish.
no,
I want to hear the other
and then,
personality.
well, Lenny's just gas. He's like cartoon character.
Is he?
I always say he's like, he just, you know, strolls in, and he's always in great form, and you're just like, what? He's just real funny. His little facial expressions, everything, you know, like, Lenny just make you laugh. Like,
Yeah.
he's just mad. Like, and he's any of the three of them. I always say if you had any of them individually, you'd be laughing.
Really?
Like, anybody will take one of them, no problem. Like, my sister's like, I'll take one for sleep. Like, my mom will.
Happily.
No, they will take them all, but, like, to take one is easy.
How? Sorry, they take after their mum making everyone laugh. May I say?
I don't know. I think I'm funny.
You are
all
funny.
that counts.
Sorry, I've been belly laughing for the last 20 minutes. When was the first time you got someone to take all three of them? Like, that must have been quite far along.
Overnight or just in general?
Both.
So my very first one was a friend of mine was getting married 12 weeks. Now, I didn't go to the wedding. Like, a
Wow.
friend, like, friendly. And she had her wedding, and I was doing the hairs. She had 12 people for hairs that morning.
Wow.
And they were 12 weeks old.
When
and
you were 12 weeks postpartum,
oh my God, I wanted to get out of that house. I was like, they give me a bit of normality. I remember the two makeup artists being like, what are you doing? And I was like, having a ball. Having a ball. I was like, because obviously I haven't been able to use my body in so long properly. And now, don't get me wrong, my lower back did not thank me for that one. But I was delighted. I remember it was in Knightsbrook, and I remember sitting in the, like, having a coffee afterwards. And,
I
just being
get
like,
it.
and my sister was like, take all the time you want. You know, she was like, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
so-
it. Sometimes you just need to just get away.
Oh,
Yeah.
as often as I can.
Yeah. Many times you need to
Yes.
get away.
But
Yeah.
I can't even remember overnight the first time. But I remember we gave one to my mom, one to my sister, one to his mom.
Okay.
We kind of
Okay. That's
weaned them.
smart. Yeah.
Should have
Okay.
seen the packing for that one.
Oh,
It
God.
was like a military
Oh,
operation.
no. It
like-
makes me feel ill thinking about it. No. And what was sleep like at the beginning? Like, did you just not sleep
What's that?
for...
Sorry, I haven't slept in 5 years. What? No, I'm grand.
Oh,
No, they
God.
work actually. See, the NICU had them in such a good routine. So it was literally like 12 o'clock Bruce is fed, half an hour put down, 12:30 Ted is fed, like change, fed, back down, change, fed, back down. And it was great because, you know, when people come to visit the baby and they're like, don't pick them up, they just had their bottle. I'm like, one of them should be ready now. You give it 15, one of them should be cooked. Like, you know, you can feed that one. So stuff like that was funny. But yeah, they were in such a good routine and I wasn't stupid enough to think I knew better than the NICU nurses. Like, I was like, no, these women, I've watched them. It's like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we just stuck to it and stuck. Like, even when we were out, we stuck to it. And people were like, I can feed one while you feed one. I was like, no, you can't.
No.
Because I can't do that on my own. So you can't do it, like, you know.
And nap times and everything. Did you do nap times?
Yeah, so you got an hour and a half. So you spend an hour and a half feeding and then an hour and a half free. And then an hour and a half. And people are like, did you sleep? And I'm like, they ran 18 bottles a day. I'm like, I had to sterilise them. And
18
I had to do
bottles a day.
minimum 18 nappies, minimum 18 bottles, yeah.
Oh.
I know. We took a photo of it once, of all of it. And we were like, what it took them one day, just the minimum. So 18. They have 18 feeds. They have 18 nappy changes. Because you changed them, obviously, before each feed. So that was the minimum, yeah. Aldi loved me.
I was going to say, just the storing of the nappies and the bottles and the washing and the sterilising and you're rubbish. Like,
yeah. That's what we used to be like, we cannot get our black bins done on weight anymore, Chris.
Yeah.
We need a set monthly fee on this.
We need to skip every month. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. No, nappies, thank God. That's gone.
Yeah. And what was potty training like?
I am blessed with a Munster woman as a mother.
Okay, what does
so
that
I was like,
mean?
fine and move in with me, will you, my mum?
Okay.
She
helped.
Yeah, she was.
Was it like ruling with an iron fist, or was she just got some magical touch?
My mum ruling her grandkids, you for real? They have her absolutely wrapped. Nana, can we have this? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You can have whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But no, she was brilliant. She and then it just kind of.
Did you do the summertime thing where it's just like pants off for a week or two?
Yeah, it was just, I think it was just before their third birthday or their fourth birthday. I can't remember. Or no, their third or after second. I can't remember now. I'm like, when did they start?
Yeah, it's usually around 3 to 4.
I think they were even 2 when we did it, and because they were going to start in play school, so
okay, yeah,
we kind of had to do it.
Yeah,
and the play school were great. They did not judge me if there was any accidents.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, Bruce talked to him, not a bother, did it.
Bruce
kid
being
has been here 10
usual
times
Bruce.
over. I'm telling you now, he's unreal. Like,
Bruce just being himself.
Like, you aren't going to make me a millionaire.
Yeah,
I'm going to use your talent.
Yes.
I'm going to rinse you for all
He'll be
your
supporting the whole family in like 3 years.
No, he just picks. He's unbelievable. Yeah, he was fairly quick, and then Ted and Lenny were fairly
Figured
quick
it
after.
out.
Yeah, I think Lenny was the only one that was a little bit more delayed on it, but they all kind of took to it. Now, don't get me wrong, we're finding things at corners of houses one never wants to find, but we kind of expected it. Like, you know, you're like, no, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, especially with 3 boys, like that's even going to happen after they're born.
My alarm clock every morning is, Mom, my boy.
Oh yeah,
like every morning. 6:30. That's all I hear. Mom, my boy. And I'm like, it's 6:30. Okay, I'm coming.
Do they get into bed with you at all?
They try to, yeah.
Do they?
I've kind of we've gotten a bit stricter now since they've started school.
Oh,
we're
have
like, no.
you? Just
they're not well or anything like that. I'm like,
yeah, snuggle on in.
Like sometimes though, I wake up in the morning and they're just there, and I'm like, how did you do that? Like,
sorry, 3 being just there is quite something.
Well, it's kind of only one or two of them would come in now.
Okay.
They do alternative. Oh yeah, no, in the beginning, all 4 of them be in the bed with.
Oh,
I've had to get physio more times in the last.
Have you got a big bed?
So I always say to people when they're like, "What's the one thing you recommend for a new baby?" I'm like, super king size bed. Super king size bed.
Yeah, I've got a super
and a mattress
king size.
That's the reality of motherhood. I'm like, super king size bed, super king size mattress protector.
And then you're sorted.
And a dryer.
And a dryer that is really good.
Yeah.
A dryer that works.
Yeah, people are always like, what baby products do you recommend? I'm like, none.
Is there any baby products, anything that kind of saved you that you were like, this is...
Oh God, there were loads.
I loved the... I can't even remember the brand it was. It's like an espresso machine, but for bottles.
The Tommy Tippy. It is people would be very mixed on that one because some people are like, can't use it, and some people are like, can. I always say,
I did.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's going to come to your house.
I can still hear the noise of that, like.
Yeah. Oh, it was brilliant. It was just, because you know, even if you get like caught in the hop.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
one baby, it's panic.
Yeah.
I've done that with 3 babies.
Oh, gosh.
you know.
I can't even
And wild
imagine.
nervous breakdowns for it to happen. So, no,
Yeah.
I did. I love that now, I have to say. And then, like the glow in the dark suitors, Nuke do glow in the dark suitors. The genius one. Because when you're like
I know, you
in the
can't
middle of the
see
night
straight.
and they're crying looking for the suitor and you're trying to find one, glow in the dark suitor. That's a really good one.
That is a very good one. And how else did you kind of prepare your life, like knowing that the triplets were coming on? Did you need to like get a new car? Well, that stuff that people talk about.
Sexy 7-seater.
Yeah. Little mommy
Sexy
van.
7-seater. I love it. No, we had a Volkswagen Charan. I used to call it me
Okay.
Chardon. Chardon's dropping us to the shop, like couldn't help it. And it had like
I love
sexy
it.
sliding doors on it as well. I was like, oh, look at the soccer mom, I'm so sexy. They used to just I wish I just got a bus.
Yeah.
Like, my
you could a
husband was
little
in car
minibus.
sales and he was like, why don't we just get a 9-seater? And I was like, if you think I'm being the pink-haired mad triplets driving around Tala in a 9-seater, so you back off. And I regret making those comments because now I'm like, I would have loved a 9-seater.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Get a buggy, like 2 buggies in, suitcases.
Could have walked in now, but I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That was pride. That
You
was pride.
you could still get a 9-seater. You can still
These
do
days,
it.
price of 9-seaters, I don't think so. I have to get a tour job for that one.
Oh my God, stop. And you're a hairdresser. That's what you're doing. Yeah, for weddings, which is
Bridal
lovely.
hairstyle. And then I work at a baby grow company as well.
Oh, do you?
I like working.
That's nice. Did you work at the baby grow company while you had kids in baby grows?
So a friend of mine owned it. It's like a zippy baby grow company.
Oh, lovely.
And she dropped them around when I had the lads and then I was like, would you ever think of doing like funny designs and
Oh yeah,
different like Irish designs, stuff like that? I was like, and I sent her on a few ideas and
you were
5
in.
years later I'm still here. So
amazing.
still trying to be funny on baby girls.
Hey, it's so important though, isn't it, to have that outside of home time, family time bit of you
just
where you can express yourself, especially.
I'm fairly creative as well. Like I like making silly designs and
It's so fun.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
no, I do enjoy that.
How else do you look after yourself or like make time for you? Or is that just not even, is that just a joke?
My nails done. That's a perfect example.
9 out of 10.
I always have my nails done. And of course, one day I get asked that question. I'm like, oh.
For audio listeners, Ali is missing, she's got beautiful orange nails, but is missing one of them.
They're desperately needed to be done.
Sorry, as are mine,
Yeah,
desperately needed
but
to be done.
Sure, look.
This is the price we pay, hey?
It is. Like, you're like, and I think because I'm a hairdresser and I work my hands, I'm like, I always have to have my
Yeah,
nails done. Cause
nice nails.
and you're always like that one finger in a photographer's photo. Your bad nails, you're like, I've just ruined your day. So, no, I do. I always try and get one thing done. And then
One thing done. Like
one thing I like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? No matter what it is. I don't really like getting my hair done or anything like that. So that's a twice a year job.
Was that difficult to get to the point where you were like, I am going to get my nails done? Like, was that a hard point to get to?
No, during my pregnancy, everything.
Well done.
That's my one thing that I'm like, I like having my nails done. So I just never, I had to obviously stop towards the end because I knew I was going to get a section, but I didn't want to. Forced it. I think the lads were in NICU and I went and got my nails done.
Amazing.
Like I did go in the morning and was like, I'm going to get it done.
What do you like about it?
I don't know. It's just one thing. You get to
Is
sit
it the
for an hour.
result, or do you like the feeling of sitting and like someone like doing?
Well, I've been
nice...
going to the same fella for 6 years now. Like over since I was pregnant, well before I was pregnant, lads, and I just sit and talk absolute shite and like, and then he always picks colour for me as well. Yeah, always. I don't make decisions.
You don't have to
Don't do anything. The length, the shape, the colour. What you do, whatever you want.
That's nice.
And he knows, and he just
It's nice to not have to make decisions, isn't it? Like
Oh.
I sometimes feel, and that's as a mum of two. Like I'm just like, I don't want to be in charge
I think that's,
of anything.
yeah, I think that's why I love it so much. 'Cause I'm like, now Sam down in Shamrock Spa in Rathfarnham, I'm just letting you know. He is the man if you want to have a peaceful nail appointment. But he's brilliant because you're just like, I don't want to make a decision. That's exactly what it is. And he's like, okay.
I get
And
that.
he just goes, and God only knows I'll come out, and I love it every time. And I'm like, yeah, great. You know, you just feel nicer, you're a little pep in your step, that's all.
Yes.
So I'm always like, whatever it is. No,
yeah.
I'd say I go to the gym, that the lads in the gym saw this, they'd be like, no, she doesn't. I try and go to the gym. But that's one of those things that it's always the first off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? If life gets too busy or whatever.
Yeah.
Come.
Do you struggle with that, about popping yourself up on that priority list? Yeah.
But then, like, I do other things. Like, I know it's like anyone else probably all the rises, but like I train Georgia's football team and camogie team.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Like, and people are like, you're mad, going. Like, you know, my friends are like, what do you do? Like,
No,
training with our team or doing whatever.
If you love it.
Love it.
Go do it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that every day now.
Yeah.
So I was like, girls, you need to go away from me for a minute. But I love it. Like, I get such a kick out of it. I just think they're great crack. And everything. I love that.
And nice to spend one-on-one time with Georgia.
Well, that's it as well.
I
think it's just hers. And I'm there for, like, you know, you're not dropping her and leaving her. Yeah. You're there for the whole thing. You're there for the matches. You're there for everything. Like, she goes mad because she's like, everyone thinks you're real nice on the team. You're not like me like that at home. I'm like, shut up, George. Stop telling my secrets.
Before we get back to the conversation, I want to take a moment to tell you about something else that we're really proud of here at IMAGE, and that is the IMAGE Wellness Project. The world can feel overwhelming right now. There's so much advice on how to care for ourselves, and honestly, it's confusing. The IMAGE Wellness Project is about cutting through that noise. It's a deep breath in a busy world. We've had Get Better with Chris, Brian Penny, Deliciously Ella, Sophie Morris, Tara Rafter, Rebecca Holland, Clodagh Campbell, and so many more, all with simple advice on how to feel better. So if you're looking for a little inspiration or just a moment of calm, come and join us. Search for the IMAGE Wellness Project wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to the show. Do you ever feel, is there ever like guilt that you're trying to spread yourself between the three of them and Georgia? And do you ever feel worried about that?
Probably every second, every day, yeah. You can't, like, because like no matter what you're splitting yourself for.
Yeah.
I don't think any kids you have. But I think with the lads as well, because they're on the same activities and stuff like that. Like, even when we bring them to their football on a Saturday morning, like, you're trying, like, you know, even when they're like, okay, mom and dad, do you like catching and kicking? And you're like,
how does this work?
I don't know what we're supposed to do. Then the coach always steps in and stuff like that. But, or, you know, like two of them will be like, oh, the worst is, well, they all want to hold my hand walking to school. Like, yeah, you've only got two hands. So one holds my pinky. I'm convinced I'm going to have like a misshaped pinky finger. One holds my pinky, one holds my hand, and the other one's on the other side. And I'm like crippled going into the school. Like, I always say to people, you ever see me at school and I look like I'm in pain? I am. If the kids are holding my hand, I am.
Oh my God.
Because it's the only way you can kind of fit, because you can't really bend these two. So
do they all have a dedicated one that they always hold?
No, they all scrap for the hands.
Say,
and then poor pinky.
Whoever gets left on the pinky.
Like, I'm so sorry. Or like sometimes, you know, you'd have a jumper on, you'd say, just hold on to the end of that. Like, what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do?
So I did think about getting a fake arm for a while. I did consider. I was like, if I just got like a fake hand, would they notice it? Because this was a massive argument for ages.
Oh no.
Still an argument some days. Like,
and are they saying like Bagsy left hand, or
they're like, I want to hold mom's hand, I want to hold, like,
I don't want the pinky again.
And like sometimes like Chris would be with us and they'd still be like, no. And I'm like, sorry, Chris. Sorry about that. Then he has the gift of being able to put them on his shoulders.
Which is going to trump any hand holding.
Yeah. You know, you're like, but yeah, hand holding, like stuff like that. It's just little things, you know, that you'd never even think of.
No.
So, like on a day to day, and people are like, just holding your hand. They'd be
it's such a basic
and then
thing.
you feel awful. Like, no matter, even with that, you're like, it's so funny going to school. You're like, you grew up, like, you know, all the moms are looking at me. Or like the sideshow here. I'm like, come on. So, but they're got like, the moms in that skill, like, people pick up, like, one thing you do notice is people pick up on things fairly quickly.
Do they?
So like, there's a few moms that would see that, and you just see them, they don't say it, and they're in, they're like, come on, let's go with us and whatever, and hold our hands.
That's nice.
Like, there's loads.
Have you had support from other mums?
Yeah. One thing I always say, you want to see how nice people are after triplets, like, it's because I know like loads of people say them, like, there's sport and stuff like that, but like people just, I mean, I remember my next door neighbour, Jess on one side of me. I always say you couldn't pay for my neighbours. I don't know what I did at what stage in life, but I like to think of them as a bit karma coming back on me. Like, they are unbelievable. Jess lives next door. She lives next door on her own. She's deadly. She's like always away on holidays. You know, she those people are like, wow, you have it. Like, and I remember she knocked on the door one day and she had a package, and she was like, oh, there's a package. And I just remember I was like on the verge, you know, where you're like, oh my God. And she just went and she just walked in.
Wow.
She just came in and she just sat down and she just started playing with the boys and she just started doing whatever. And she's like, what do you need done? What do you need doing? Whatever. And I was like, can I just get in the shower? And she was like, go up and have a shower. Whatever. Like,
wow.
And I remember just thinking, how did you know that? I remember she stayed with me until Chris came home, and then we had a glass of Prosecco. You know,
Because
Why
of
not?
course.
Because this needed to be celebrated. But like, do you know, like little things where you're like, I didn't even realize I'd given that off when I opened the door. But she was just like, you know, she just knew, and she was
Women
like, okay.
just know sometimes.
Yeah,
don't they?
unreal. Like, and
Yeah.
then on the other, they're actually sisters that live either side of me. Her sister as well dropped Georgia to school when her little fella started, and she dropped Georgia to school every single day for me.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? Things like
Yeah.
that. And if you're late or you'd be panicking, you say, it's grand, I'll go. And she's like, boy. So, you know, like little things like that where you're like,
That makes such a huge difference to your life.
Unbelievable. Like,
Yeah. Was there a point where you ever felt like you were struggling a bit? I mean,
all
like
the
I
time.
know.
All of the time. I always just say I'm a good actor.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? I'm well able to be like, it's grand and it's funny and it's defense is you know, humor is a defense mechanism at the best of times. But yeah, no, there's like loads of times where you're obviously just browning. I always remember sitting outside my house one day, and I said the lads are only one, and I remember pulling in. I was training, and I pulled in, and I just sobbed, and it was just the thought of having to. Once I went into the house, the day was just going to repeat itself. It was like Groundhog Day, and I remember ringing my best friend, like, and she was like on her walk. She was on her walk. She's like, I'm on the way back. You could hear her, and she only lives across the road, so she said, just drive to my house, park outside. And I remember just being like, I can't do this because it was such a routine, just constant. I remember just thinking, as soon as I set my foot back in the door, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have to do it all again. Like, and it was that mundane. Like, you just know it's like you're gonna do it all again tomorrow. Like.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I've had that feeling too, and only again with one.
No, but like I had that in Georgia.
Yeah,
but it just obviously
3 times
was
the mundanity.
I think it was just it was such a routine, and it was just like, I just don't want to do this again tomorrow. Like, I just don't want to. And then of course your friends are like, either like, it's all okay, or you're going back to do it tomorrow. So I kind of get a mix of all of that with my friends. So I'm very
mix.
lucky.
Yeah. I've heard you say before that you felt like a bit of a fraud when people were telling you, oh, you're doing so good. And I thought that was so interesting because I really, I get that. I feel like many mums will feel that.
I think it's just like you're automatically, because you've 3 people are like, no, obviously, like it is impressive.
Yeah.
I give myself a bit of credit in that regard, but like, it's impressive to be able, but like, what choice do you have?
Yeah.
Like, you're sitting there going like, you know what I mean?
You just got
what choice do I have? Like, if I don't do it, I'm going to be arrested. So like, what do you want me to do? Like, so I think it's in that sense where you're like, people are like, oh my God, you're amazing. Like, it's some sort of like divine choice you made, and you're like sitting at home baking cookies, and you're like, I don't fucking want to do this tomorrow.
Just tell them where
I
to go.
don't want to do this tomorrow. Stop telling me. I always used to say it's like putting a weight around someone's ankle when they're already drowning, because you're like, I don't need to be told. Like, I don't need, like, you know, I don't need praise. I need
help.
An hour by myself. Like, I just need a shower in peace without someone coming in asking me a question. So yeah, I think as well, like, because you know yourself, you get to the school and people are like, oh my God, like, you're amazing, and you know what you've just had to come out of, and all you want to do is go home and cry, and you're like, oh, thanks, like, and then you're like, it nearly makes you rattle more. Then you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
So
because the outside and the inside worlds aren't matching.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I always say I'm like a duck. Staying along and underneath. Just the flippers underneath going mental. Like,
I think we all are to a certain extent, though, as mums, you know, like, there's a lot of that. Yeah. And do you think that you've gotten better at asking for help, or like getting better at knowing what you need and setting boundaries for yourself?
Yeah. I always say as well, sorry, this is such a random analogy, but when you have a baby, right? It's like, we're just going to use swimming as an example, okay? When you have a baby, you're put in the small pool with your armbands on, and there's someone sitting watching you the whole time. And then as time goes on, you go into the deep end and you're able to swim on your own. There's still a lifeguard on duty. They're still kind of checking in and whatever. And then eventually you go to the beach, and the beach is full of family and friends, and they're all having a lovely day out, but nobody's watching you. You're swimming out in the ocean all by yourself. And one day out an hour, you get pulled in by a current. You have 3 options. You like hope for the best, keep swimming, exhaust yourself, and hope you're going to swim out of it. You get pulled out or pulled under. And then the only actual option is you have to signal for help. You have to scream, you have to shout, you have to wave your hands, because nobody on the beach is looking at you. And unless you do something to be like, I am in trouble. And then the gas thing is, if anyone's on the beach, they're either going to run to get you help, they're going to rush out to get you themselves. Like I know it's a silly analogy, but
No,
it's
it's
one of those
not.
things where you're like, someone watching you, people are helping, you're kind of learning. And then when they assume you're grand,
Yeah, that's when you really
something
need it.
external that's nothing got to do with anyone else happens, that's out of your control, and all of a sudden you are drowning in it. And that's like, and you know yourself, it's nearly impossible. Like I have to ask for help every day. Not once in a while when I was struggling. Like I want to go do my food shop, I have to ask for help. I wanted to go for a physio appointment, I have to ask for help. You know what I mean? Silly things. Like if I wanted to drop Georgia to school without bringing, lashing out.
Yeah.
You have to ask someone to come up and help you. Like it was constant. So I think that eats away at you a little bit.
I can totally understand that would eat away at you.
So
yeah.
that did. And like I like doing my own thing, and I don't get me wrong, I also love my mom coming over to help me on all aspects of my life. But when it was just a constant, and then like Chris just got up and went to work, and it's not on Chris. But when you're watching that every day, you're watching someone just get up, get their coffee and go. And you're like, I want to go get my nails done, and I have to ring someone, and I have to ask.
And
or
you don't.
we have to do, and it's not even, it's just natural. I just do it. Like that was our argument, I'd say, for the first 3 years was, you ring and ask. I'm not ringing and asking. You ring and ask this time. Because I was like, we're asking the same question, but I'm sick of feeling that it's always coming from me. Like, because then you feel like it's just you asking.
Not your family asking as a unit.
So you're just like, you ring and ask. I used to be, you want to go somewhere, you ring and ask. I was like, I'm not asking anybody for it.
That's good.
So we're kind of getting to the stage now where like we're getting to pay, like I bring the little fella next door to school now every morning, and I feel I'm like loving it. I'm like, get in the car, let's go. You know what I mean? Or like anyone needs lift anywhere, I was like, I'll bring them, because for so long people did it for me that I'm like in the pay it forward kind of stage of things. So
that's kind of incredible to be in the pay it forward. Yeah. You still got 3 5-year-olds and a 10-year-old. Like that's a lot.
But again, that was kind of one of the things in my head. But I was like, when I get to that stage, like I'm going to make sure that I'm continuously doing it. So now, obviously, again, like I have friends who are pregnant or family have had babies and stuff like that, and I'm nearly kind of trying to be hyper aware of like, I'm gonna have to check in with them. I'm gonna have to double check things. I'm gonna have to show up some days, just in case. Like, but
I think just showing up though is a really good way of looking after someone when they're in that postpartum period, especially because you say, "Oh, I'll come. Let me know when I can come." Yeah. And then you're putting the ball in their court, and they can't deal with that. I love the idea of just turning up and.
I always say, if you're kind of worried about someone, say, "I have something in the car for you. I'm just gonna throw it in the porch, but if you're in, I'll pop in and say hi." And then it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna be on the doorstep. If you don't need me, fine. But at least you're given the option.
I'm there. If
I always say, if you're worried about someone, just always give I'm not gonna really give you an option.
Yeah, no, I really love
my friends
that.
have been kicking in my front door. 2 of them especially, they see through me in about 2 seconds. I'm like, damn it.
That's good though.
I know it is. They're very good. Like
that's really good. What do you give advice, to mothers of expecting multiples of twins or triplets? Is there any piece of advice that you always give them or that you want them to know if they're listening?
You're gonna get asked stupid questions. Don't take it personally. People are not rude, they're just nosy. That's the thing. Don't be afraid to answer them as well. It's always nice to teach people. Yeah, you're gonna get asked a million questions. And if you have boy and girl twins, they're gonna ask you, are they identical? It's gonna happen. Just be like, I'm trying to think what else. Like, just again, the help thing is huge. Like, I didn't enjoy asking for help. I've never enjoyed it, but you have to. Like, it's sink or swim kind of thing. Like, and I'm like, if you like, I remember my sister, when she had the twins, she always says she was standing in the square at the customer service desk with 2 car seats, and she was waiting them to go get her twin trolley. And she has one of the girls was screaming, and she was like trying to figure it out. And she said, a man just came up to her and went, I have twins, give me one. And she said, I just handed my baby over to a stranger. But she was like, but in an instant, she was like, he gets it, like, grand. And he was just stood there while she saw her the other one, and then was like, grand, the trolley came. And she was just like, sometimes even when you didn't ask for the help, someone offers it, just say yes. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, and like, nappy bags, make sure they're scented. Scented nappy bags. I would highly recommend that. And then, do you know the other thing? You don't need that much. That's one thing, only looking back now, I'm like, why did we have so much crap? Like, I think we went through, now, We went through so many buggies because I just didn't know what would work or what would not work. Scrambler, gates and Tala make it very difficult for double buggies. I'm just saying. So Dublin County Council, if you can sort that. Because you have to, obviously, you're trying to fit everything into shops, and like we didn't know what would work with the tree. Like,
yeah, of
it's
course.
hilarious. Like we had a wagon on wheels. It was brilliant. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff. The amount of stuff
You don't need.
like you don't like all this extra bits and bobs. They need a car seat. They need a car. They need a buggy.
And they need you, and that's
And balls or
Yeah.
a boob, whatever your preference is.
Yeah. Whatever their predilection is that day.
That's it. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need as much as you think you do.
And my final question, what do you hope that the boys and Georgia learn from watching you navigate the world?
To not take it too seriously. That you can have fun doing anything, and I quite literally mean anything. There's always like a good or a spark in something. And then just that they have the confidence, and like I'll go anywhere looking any old way. And strolling with my head high, and I hope they kind of get that off me. So, and yeah, I don't know, and just hope they're happy. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
No
sharing.
problem. I'm
with us
delighted I did not
today.
cry. This is the first podcast I didn't cry on, so thank you so much.
I'm surprised. I normally get a few tears.
You're raging out. You're like, let's go again. Roll it back.
We won't cry today. Next
No.
time we'll have you on again. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thanks a million. I really enjoyed that.
If you enjoyed this conversation, you can also log on to image.ie to read more, or subscribe to our newsletter where you can hear directly from me about anything else that we might have going on. Also, could you tell a friend about us? That would make a big difference, and it helps us reach other women who need to hear these conversations. Image the Motherload is powered by Peugeot and sponsored by It's for Women, Evoca, Liffey Valley and Revive Active. Thank you for listening. Lean on your village, and remember, you've got this.